my husband, many of you know, is gay, and he came out to me in 2010. So he has been dating someone seriously for more than a year, and my kids love him. I have yet to meet him in person. So he actually came here tonight to the show so we could meet in person for the first time.
He's behind the curtains right now.
He
so
is.
Pay no attention to the man behind.
Pay no attention to what's behind.
It's like Mystery Date, the old Mystery Date. Remember?
What will he look like?
Yeah, and he comes out.
What will he sound like?
Yeah, you have no idea. So he's going to come in here.
Yeah, who's dating my husband? That's what's behind.
They're all rushing home to get the TV version of this.
We're on Periscope right now, too.
Yeah. Okay, so here you go.
So come on in. His name is Jim. Jim, come on in.
Come on in, Jim.
This is show up for you, and I'm going to give you a hug.
Let me give you a hug. Oh, it's been way too long.
I know, you're so tall.
Yep, just like your husband.
Hi, Jim. I'm David.
Nice to meet you, David.
Same here.
Stay closer over here so you stay in the camera shot.
All right.
Welcome.
My pleasure.
So you drove here all the way from Saugatuck?
From Saugatuck, yes.
I love Saugatuck.
Not too bad, 40 minutes.
It's Key West of the Midwest.
It is. It is.
It is. So anyway, keep going, Candice. Now,
okay. So
the
Jim
story starts.
Yeah, well, Jim did us a great favor this week because he took our 8-year-old to the daddy-daughter dance because my husband was sick and he couldn't take her. And so I do have Jim's number, even though I've never met him before in person.
We texted, Facebook.
Yeah, and I texted Jim and I said, could you take her? Because Chris is too sick to take her. And he said yes, and she was really excited and she loves him and they had a great time. So I actually want to hear about the dance from your perspective.
Well, I've never been to a daddy-daughter dance.
Right, so this is first for you.
I don't have kids.
Right.
So I was amazed at the 200 little second and third graders running around the ballroom with dads in tow, all dressed up, hair to the T's, fancy shoes, fancy dresses. We didn't do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And just, the little herds of girls running around and playing with each other's hair and dancing on the floor. It was fun.
Good.
It was fun.
And I know she had a great time with you.
We had ice cream.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes, and we ran up and down the ballroom stairs many times.
I heard she did that last year too.
That was fun for
with
her.
her dad. Yep.
Yep, and we did a slow dance.
Nice. Good.
And we did a couple fast dances, and she knew some of those line dances that I don't know.
Yeah.
And so she went out into them and I watched with the other dads.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so I was the bonus dad.
You were the bonus dad. Yep, you're the bonus dad. So that was great, and she loved it. I mean, she was like, well, I wish Dad could go, but I really like Jim, and so she was good with that.
Good.
So that
I was good with it
for her.
too. We had fun.
Good.
We bonded.
Good, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking her.
My pleasure.
Yeah, that was a nice fill-in.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's just, Candice has talked about the situation over the last 3 or 4 shows, and it's not a surprise for me coming from Chicago, South Side. I grew up, especially in everything.
I'm a Chicagoan also.
But where at?
I was downtown for 20 years.
Downtown, probably Lincoln Park.
No, actually, Lakeview, East Lakeview.
Oh, that is a gay area.
It is.
It is a very high gay area. Yeah, they call that Boys Town. Boys Town.
That's right.
See, I told you.
Ground zero.
So, yeah, I got a flat in Boys Town one time. And that's where the story stops.
Did
what were you doing in Boys Town? What were you doing in Boys Town? It's a bigger question.
I really thought I'd meet Mickey Rooney.
Mickey,
I remember Mickey Rooney.
But anyway, when she talked about the situation, and she first started talking about when he came out. What I wanted to know is, how did you feel? How do you take that? And how does a person in a marriage feel? Well, when they cheat, not so much cheat, but they leave you for the same sex as you. That, then you go kick the crap out of the bitch. Or you watch 48 Hours ID like I do tonight and someone gets killed. Now, what happens if your husband, now it's another man, you're not the first person I've ever seen this. I've known men that women have left for women.
Right, it's a lot more common than people think.
Now, then I read up on it because I'm a voracious reader, and what I found out is there's one more thing in there, and it's confusion. Because the confusion is not only you try to blame yourself,
absolutely.
Then there's one more caveat in there, really coming in trying to blame yourself even more because you failed more on a hetero level. You see, as a heterosexual, I think differently. That's why there's chocolate and vanilla, right? And you being gay, you think differently, so you can see it from a different angle. And thank God. But I see it from the angle of being hetero and seeing you go through what you did, and you were over it already. And you were all laughing and giggling.
Yeah, by the time we met, yes.
Yeah. And that's good therapy. That is tremendous therapy.
Yeah, laughter's been great for me.
So, first of all, I want, in no way, you had nothing to do with this.
That's correct.
That's correct. So, folks at home, hi.
I met Candice's husband a year and a half ago.
Right. Jim is, he had already come out.
And he came out in 2010, so they met in 2010.
Yeah, so he had nothing to do with it. But I'm saying that you were handling this much more of a trooper as I would. And maybe that's because based on my immaturity.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate
What else can I say? I mean, you handled it like, okay, this is what it is, and I got kids, and I'm going to, march on.
And I think, part of it for me, very early on, my husband and I decided that any decision we make, we're going to think about the kids and how it impacts them long term. And that really puts a lot of things into perspective, and we both want the other person to find somebody good, find somebody who will love our kids. And, I think he's found that with Jim. I mean, Jim really seems to love the kids from what I've seen, and I know the kids love him. And, it's good. It's like it's more people to love the kids. Would I have wanted my marriage to go this way? Would I have chosen this? No, but it did. And because it did, I had to take, I used to look at it and say, okay, what would I really want most? What I'd really want most is for my husband to be straight and stay with me. But that wasn't an option. So I had to look at it and say, all the options suck. Which one's the least sucky option? And the
See,
one
if you left for another woman, you could try to fix it and get it back.
Or there would be different issues. Like, even if I didn't want him back, there are a lot of issues that come with having a gay spouse that you question your own judgment. You're like, what's wrong with me that I'm attracted to a gay guy?
I don't think you turn a person gay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh,
no way. Yeah, he was gay.
There's enough evidence.
We're genetically programmed.
Yeah.
We just fought it for years.
Right.
Because it wasn't okay.
Right, because Jim was married also.
I was married also.
I was
married for 14 years.
Yeah.
I was married for 14 years.
So you were doing the rituals that everyone did, but inside was it killing you? Was it acceptable enough inside to go day to day, or was it just really crazy?
I did not know I was gay, but I was attracted to men. So I got married not knowing I was gay, but attracted to both sexes. Hadn't had sex with men until college, and that was sort of extracurricular, just trying it out.
Experimental.
Yeah.
Or I was drunk.
What's wrong with that? It's no big deal. And actually much more common today than back in my day.
Right.
But no, got married. We never had kids. I was my wife's second husband. So she had it really tough. Her first husband cheated on her with her best friend. And then she ended up with the gay husband as her second husband.
Jim will never cheat on me with another woman.
But,
no, and that was true.
to answer your question, it's as hard for the gay husband as it is for the heterosexual wife.
I would think.
Because we tried hard to lead the life we were supposed to lead, being straight, having a family, being the good husband, when really genetically we were programmed to be something different. I'm 55, so back in the day, I didn't know any gay people. It was not an acceptable thing. Candice's husband is 7 years younger than me. Still in his youth, it wasn't really an acceptable thing. So you sort of tried to conform, you played a part, and what happens is the part catches up with you because it's not your reality. Your reality is you're supposed to be with a man. And there's nothing that you're going to do to prevent that because that's how you were made. I truly believe that's how I was made.
Did it help?
It's not a choice.
Because the stigma,
absolutely
It's the hardest thing to have.
I was going to say,
Right.
as time went on
No one would
over
want
the
to.
last 2
Right.
decades, it became more acceptable.
Yes.
And now it's legal to get
Yes.
married. But what I'm saying is, and we're finding out there's so many people. Now, I hung around in Saugatuck a lot because I had a home just south of there. And it's a very gay, clean town.
Yes.
Gays have certain personas. They keep the damn places ultra clean. They run wonderful businesses. They're great chefs.
Have the highest disposable income of any group.
Yes, yes.
They spend money.
Yeah, and you know, all of those things that come about in that neighborhood make that thing the Key West of the Midwest. It's just so beautiful to go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call it the mini Provincetown.
Yeah, okay. But now, okay, I can understand why you say that.
Can I throw in one thing here? I just wanted to, just one thing you said, how it's as hard for the person coming out as it is for the straight, and I have to disagree with you there.
Okay.
Because I know, for you guys, it was a lifelong struggle, which was really hard. And I'm not saying it wasn't hard, because it was really, really hard, because to come out, you had to buck society, you had to risk being rejected by your families.
And your friends.
And your friends, and your
tell people you're someone different than you are.
right. And that is horrible.
Yes.
But
Well,
I think
let's find out.
But I think the extra layer that you get with being a straight spouse is, here is the person that you trusted 100%, that you would trust with your life, that you would take a bullet for, that was your safe place, and suddenly they're like, one, they're the person hurting you more than you could ever imagine.
The rug's pulled out.
And then secondly, it's like you have no safe place. Did this person even ever love me? There's so many questions there that add to.
Well, you're wondering if he was faking it.
To a regular, yeah, you do. You naturally wonder that, and I know for a fact that my husband was not. Like, I know he really, he did love me. He does love me. I think that he was attracted to me, but I think that it was emotional, like for him, because he's not attracted to women, but he was attracted to me, and I think that's because he was so emotionally connected to me.
Yes.
But I wanted to clarify that one part, because I understand it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
But having the person that's supposed to be like the person that's going to take the bullet for you, and then they're the ones that fire it, is a betrayal, even though it's not intended to hurt.
Yeah.
That the intention wasn't to hurt. It's a betrayal that is like it's like no other.
It's a devastating shock.
Yeah.
And I completely understand where you're coming from. I went through that with my ex-wife, and we're still very friendly.
Which is great, yeah.
My ex-partner, before your husband, we would do Christmas together like we're going to do.
Yeah, we are. We're doing Christmas together this year.
Christmas Eve at my house, the whole family.
Yeah, and then we're going up to my husband's mother's house for Christmas at her place too.
Yes.
That's what I was going to ask. When you came out and you were holding it in all this time, did you wait to see if society was a little more accepting, so you had a little more of a parachute, or you just did it when you did it? And number two, did your family just leave you?
Great questions. I came out in 2001.
Yeah.
I was 41 years old. That's late for coming out.
Unless you're married, which actually it's like the average age if you're married.
Yeah, and I hadn't even admitted to myself that I was gay when out of my mouth in bed one Sunday morning, I sat up. I had been struggling so much with it, keeping it inside, that I physically had been making myself sick and having involuntary sweating like showers on myself. And I just woke up one morning and I turned to my ex-wife, her name's Charlene, and I said, Charlene, I'm gay, what are we gonna do about it? So it was as much a shock to me as it was to her in that moment coming out, because I'd never said the words before.
Did she suspect it?
Well, I had an affair 4 years into my marriage. I had an affair with a guy I worked with, and I tried to hide it. I didn't know why I did it, but I did. And I'm a very honest guy, and I'm very bad at lying, except in poker, because I'm a professional poker player. She knew something was up with me, and she just could read that I wasn't right in how I was acting and behaving towards her while I was having this affair. And So I ended the affair, came clean, and told her that I was involved with a guy. It was my first time. I was emotionally so connected to this guy as well as physically connected. I didn't know what had hit me because I never had those feelings before.
Yeah.
And so telling her was one of the most difficult things. So then she's like, well, are you gay? Are you bi? Well, I said, I don't even know. I honestly at that point didn't know. So I went into therapy for 2 years to make it go away.
Ah.
And
So that was that your goal going in?
it was my goal going in. So I went into therapy.
There were actual therapists and psychiatrists. In what year were you doing this?
So I was married in 1988. So this would have been 1992.
There's-
1992. They still thought they could fix it.
You know what? There still are.
I thought I could fix it.
There still are therapists that I know people that they go to them as a couple and they're like, oh well, we can fix this. Like still, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought I could fix
Yeah.
it. I did not want to have to go through everything I was going to have to go through if
Yeah.
I were gay.
Right.
So I tried to fix it. Well, you can't fix what you're supposed to do.
You can't fix gay.
You can't fix it.
No.
Do you wish you came out earlier?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I
You
wish
had
that.
have an easier life.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't have had to turn my family's life upside down, my friends. I felt like I was being a character in a movie that no one really knew because I never let people know who I truly was because
Right.
I wasn't sure who I truly was. And I was so conflicted and confused.
Fair to say you were whatever they wanted you to be.
Yeah, I was a chameleon.
Okay.
And I was very good at compartmentalizing my
Yeah.
gay behavior and my straight behavior.
Oh, okay.
I was a master compartmentalizer.
A lot of work.
So when I traveled
A lot
on
of work.
business, I would go out and frequent gay bars and kind of see what that was all about. And if I had an encounter, I didn't tell anybody, no friends, no one. It was my thing.
Because that was another life. That was something
That
else.
was another
to you.
life.
Yeah.
I led a dual life for
Yeah.
probably 8 years. And then it just caught up with me. I made myself sick by keeping it in and not.
See, you have a conscience. I mean,
I think-
throw away the gay issue for a second. Even in heteros, there are men that can cheat and cheat and cheat. I was in a neighborhood before I came here and lost everything. Very rich neighborhood where it was a given. The high-priced lawyers and doctors, they all had some poo-tang on the side.
Yeah.
It was a given, and it didn't bother me. Now, if I screwed around on Janet, she knows I'm like you. I sweat, I'm not myself. She goes, what's wrong? See, I can't hold that inside.
Right.
It just has to come out. So it just happens to be a little change in the DNA coding to see with men, but with me, I have the same conscience where I can't live with it.
Is she your best friend?
Yes.
I think that's the
Totally.
difference. I think the difference is if your partner,
Yeah.
whether it's a heterosexual or homosexual partner,
Yeah.
is your best friend, you have a conscience.
She knows everything
Because-
about me and I her.
Yeah, and
The good and the bad.
And my ex-wife was my best friend. My ex-partner was my best friend. They knew me inside and out, and you don't hurt the people you love. I mean, they're family.
Yeah.
And if you truly love them and care about them, you're not going to feel okay cheating on them.
But you can't always blame. I mean, I come from a family
You
where...
still might cheat on them, but you're not going to feel okay about it.
Right. There was nothing I could do to fix them. I
Right.
let them go. They're gone. And because there was a lot of hearsay, lying, and so forth. So I let it go. I come from a family that on any given day, anything could happen. Real horrible or real good. I lived in that environment every day. So I call them sociopaths. They didn't care about shit. I was bullied at one time. My dad said, "Just pull up your bootstrap." Oh, anyway, my point is, you had a family that accepted it ultimately, and
Ultimately,
okay.
not initially.
Did you keep trying to go at them and go at them and go at them and say, "Accept me," or did you just finally say, "I've had enough. I leave. If you want me, come get me"?
So the way I laid it out was, remember I was 41.
Yeah.
So as an adult, I knew what my mom and my dad were all about. My mom is very cerebral, really bright, former school teacher, biologist. So she was the first person I told. I actually flew home and told her right after I came out to my ex-wife. She took it cerebrally and tried to figure out how it happened. She didn't really get it or understand it. She wanted sort of the medical
and
analysis, biological like explanation of what happened.
It had to be photosynthesis.
And so then it was like, well, who in our family has that gene that you got that gene? I don't know any gays in my family. So that was, she just harbored that for a while. And couldn't understand how I could have sex with a woman and have sex with a man and enjoy it. That was hard for her. But she loves me and embraces me, and to this day has never had a problem with it, but she's never totally embraced my gay life.
And that, you know what?
She doesn't want to know all about it.
That's okay, because
not that there's that much to know, other than it's not like it's any different than a heterosexual life.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because like my own mother, like she doesn't like me saying that my husband is gay. She's like, no, like, he must be.
Well, she's a listener.
He must be bi because he had kids with you, and I'm like, no, he's gay. Like,
when you have a preference.
Yeah, because if he were bi, he'd be attracted to women, and he's not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No.
But the parents did the best they could with what they had back then, and their own training, and the hush hush, even like alcoholics.
Yes.
Hush hush, and then can I catch it from them?
Or cancer.
And there's so many things going on in genetics right now. I didn't even believe. I thought it was you guys were misfits, until I got and studied how it can
I thought
be.
I was a misfit.
Yeah, you had to.
I didn't know what was wrong with
But you understand that this was the crusade of the decades. You guys went over. Decades from now, when we're all dead, they're going to say that generation had it the hardest.
Yes, and I think,
End of story.
Our generation, my generation, is being thanked by the younger generation of gays today.
Yeah,
I mean,
paved the way, man.
There are so many kids today coming out at 14, 16, even as young as 10, asking the question, am I bi, am I gay, am I straight? And you know what, I'm not sure they all really know. I think because it's out there and they have friends that are, or friends' parents that are, and it's talked about more openly and freely, they're wondering. I'm not sure that you can really know for sure until you've lived life a little bit.
And I guess with my own kids, and I've said on the show before, but I have one who's lesbian, and I have another one who's identifying as bi right now.
Yes.
And to me, they know, and it's
How old are they?
One's a teenager, one's younger than that.
Now, could one
But I can tell you, my teenager was 9 years old the first time she told us she was a lesbian.
Okay, the younger one, could she or he just be playing it off as this is something I want to get into and be cool?
I don't think
as a child?
I don't think so. But the thing is, even if she were, like,
how would she know she's bi?
Because she's attracted to girls and boys.
At what age? Younger than 12?
Yes.
No.
So
there is attraction in girls at that age?
Well, I mean, I remember having a crush on my uncle when I was like 3. I mean,
you really?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was a big buff.
My Aunt Lorraine had a crush on me.
I was attracted to boys and girls, but I didn't know back then what bi meant. We didn't even, when I was 11 years old, I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
And
I think they can know, but the fact is, like, people freak out, like, oh, is it just a phase, and is it and all this, and it's like, you know what, in this society, nobody's gonna accidentally fall onto the gay side. It's like, because society is like, be straight, date the opposite gender, so it's
very
like,
hard falling on the gay side.
Right.
It's not something, especially when you've been married.
Yeah.
But don't you think though that you were like, there was World War II and they call those guys the greatest generation because they really stopped the world wars. We have a new war now. We're not going to get into that, but you guys had your own war, whether you're a woman or a man, and laws have changed, and you had to go through that and actually be ridiculed by. Well, there was a place just north of here, the diesel mechanic truck place. Probably read about it in the papers. He said if you were openly gay in the shop, he would not you work on your truck. That's the same as saying, well, if you're black, I'm not going to work on your truck.
Yes.
I would not work on a truck with an ass wipe coming in. Ass wipes I don't like, but a gay guy coming in probably got money. And a nice car or truck. Yeah.
And detail it while you're at it.
And has friends.
Yes.
Nice cars.
Yes. And we'll bring there. Yeah. It's just shoot himself. But he's on the religious pretense and stuff like that. There is scripture and that is coalescing to where it can be troublesome for someone who is gay, because I read the Bible twice. I'm astute in scripture and things like that, only because I had nothing to do when I was a kid. I just read it. But I don't even want to go there, because interpretation can be going both ways. But I have my own personal feelings, and thank God I'm a human being, and I have my feelings and you have yours. Mm-hmm. I think DNA structures a lot of your feelings, and also spirituality, because where do feelings and thoughts come from? We don't know. None of us. We don't go, okay, I'm going to think this next. We don't do that. It just fires. So those are spiritual God shots that come to us. How our day is going to be, what we're going to do, things like that. Well, I'm going to get up now, and things like that. So, but the struggle that you had, I'm trying to compare it to my life. Well, being bullied by this SOB, I can remember. Every day I was fearful I was going to get stabbed. Mm-hmm. Was it fearful as a child going to school every day?
I was teased.
Someone may find out.
Well, I didn't know I was gay, but I knew I was different.
Okay, there you go.
And so I was, whoa.
Hello.
Ryan Banner.
Yes. Ow!
Ooh.
I'm okay.
Boy.
Yes.
Oh my.
Now, was that God?
That was God.
Oh.
Me.
And on the third day, and he hit you in the head with it.
I know.
And the girls are the
Are you
ones.
all right?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
Come here, sweetie. You all right?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
good.
you poor thing.
I'm tough.
But the girls are the ones who put it up all the time, and it
Yeah.
always falls.
It does.
It
Doesn't always fall. That's the first time that fell.
No, that thing, that paper always falls.
So
Anyway, let's get back to the show.
So I'm thinking back to when I was in, let's say, grammar school, junior high school. I knew I was different. I got teased a lot because I was sensitive. I was smart. Mm-hmm. I carried my books like a girl. I threw a baseball like a girl.
Yeah.
But I was a great basketball player.
Okay.
And I rang handbells in a handbell choir at my church.
But you're like what, 6'4"?
I'm 6'5". I was 6'5". I'm 6'4" now, shrunken in.
Okay.
But I did a little bit of everything, and that wasn't okay. Guys were supposed to just do sports and be, rough and tumble, and girls were supposed to be pretty and do what they're told when I was growing up, and I was sort of in between. And I felt like I didn't have a lot of good guy friends. I had a lot of girlfriends, and then there were girls that I liked. But I never really liked a boy because I was afraid of boys.
Now, see,
and I didn't have a father growing up.
I know
Okay.
my husband felt the same way, in the sense of not really having a lot of guy friends. Like he would even talk about being at the family Christmas parties or whatever, and he'd always be in the kitchen with the women, because all the guys were out like watching football and talking cars and stuff like that.
I mean, I love football. I'm a football fanatic.
Yeah.
I'm in football pools. I do fantasy football. I have a lot of guy things, guy traditional things that I do. I like to fish. I like sports. I played basketball through high school and college. I bowl. But I also enjoy fashion and cooking and, things that are more feminine.
And things that I would not like, because I like the rough and tumble. I like the good fight. I like the things, because I'm just made that way.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
okay.
your DNA.
Yeah. And I am different than my brothers.
And you're much like my dad. My dad did not accept me when I came out.
Why wouldn't I? We all breathe the same air.
My dad did not accept me for 1 year. He didn't speak to me. He said,
If you had approached me 30 years ago, and in the environment that we were in was a saltwater tank, now it has gone freshwater. You see, we could not say I accept you, because then maybe I was. That was the risk with heterosexuals back then. If you accept one, then maybe you are.
But yes, you're right, and it was a shock for my dad, and he had very specific beliefs. He's very religious, and what was interesting was he just had to learn that I'm still the same person.
Yeah,
I still have the same qualities that he's always been proud of, and it took a year, but he completely turned around, 360 degrees.
Yeah,
and to the point where my stepmom and his favorite vacations were to come visit me and my ex-partner in Chicago.
That's awesome.
They wanted us to have the party. They wanted all my friends. My ex-partner and I used to go and stay with them and sleep in the same bed in their home. So people can change. They're afraid of things that they don't know, and the media had done a really poor job at painting the gay picture as flamboyant and drag queens and everybody having sex everywhere. And then back then the HIV and AIDS crisis was huge. It wasn't under control. So I think that, we've come a long way in education and acceptance, and people now everybody knows gay people. It's not that strange. And many people know formerly married guys and gals that are now gay.
You can tell too in some way on the outward appearance. You can tell just by the effeminate, like you said, how you throw a ball and how you speak and things like that.
Although that's not always the case.
That's not always the
Don't
case.
get too stereotypical on that.
There are
I'm not going to,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say I sometimes think that way.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I think I have pretty good gaydar. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
And a lot of times I'll back it up with my husband. Like I'll be like, okay, like when you go to pick up our daughter at this meeting, like check out this person and tell me what you think. And he'll come home and be like, oh yeah, totally gay. I'm like, I knew it.
It's funny, when I came out, my closest circle of friends and family shocked. The inner circle.
Yes.
The second and third circles, what took you so long?
Wow.
We knew all along. We were just waiting for that day for
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you can
pick up. I can.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's interesting.
Sometimes, but I don't say that. I say that guy possibly is one. That's what I say. But then anymore, in my own head, I don't even think about it anymore.
Is one?
Yeah, is one. You see how over time?
One of those.
One of those.
Do you see what I'm saying? Though, over time, as a heterosexual, we had to make an adjustment too.
Yes.
And that was an acceptance thing for us to do. Either we did or we didn't. I chose to accept.
Good.
Because there's a guy that I knew very well, and I thought he was. You may know him in Saugatuck. I will just say a first name. His name is David, and he's an airline pilot. Do you know him?
No.
Okay. All right. He's gay. And him and I went out fishing a lot. And nothing ever happened because he knew I was hetero.
Right.
And I did that for me because I wanted to make sure, it was normal.
I think for a long time, straight men felt that if they knew or were near a gay man, that the gay man was going to hit on them. I think that was a really common misperception.
Like they were attracted to everyone.
Every gay man's attracted to any man.
Right.
It's so not true.
I was hit on by a gay man once, though, in college.
Right, and I've been hit on by lesbians, so yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You have pictures?
No. I was living in the East Village in Manhattan at the time, so.
Lesbians. I love bi women.
And actually, that was sort of what got me looking at myself. Was I was getting hit on by a lot of men.
Right.
Were you?
And you were like, what do they see?
Yeah, like why me?
Yeah.
Why are you picking me?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to believe it.
Well, we joke around. Maybe they stood next to you at the urinal.
Oh, for sure.
I said, OMG. Did you see that?
Lot to see.
TMI.
And the same thing, like if I'm looking at transsexual pictures on the internet, because Janet has caught me several times, because I'm looking and if you're going down, they look like women, totally women all the way down. And then they got a unit twice my size. Pisses me off. What the hell?
Size envy.
Yes, it is size envy, okay? I'm born that way. Damn it to hell. And then I catch ours, and then that crapped it out.
Yeah.
I died 2 years ago. with a botched operation.
For like 9 minutes.
And then I got all of this collateral damage.
Oh no.
It wiped out my immune system. I have no immune system, so I get it restored every month. I had it done this week, and I still feel sick a little.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry
So
to hear
anyway,
that.
well, it happened, and I joke about it a lot. And this is good therapy for us.
Yeah.
But I do see a psychiatrist and a therapist.
Yeah.
Keep my head on straight.
Yeah, I understand. I'm
And-
a cancer survivor. So,
There you go.
Yeah, I just got
Just, yeah.
cancer free in January of this year.
My
Yeah.
God, were you
Yeah.
scared for a while on
Oh, I
that?
thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very ill, and Candice's husband was amazing, was by my side the entire time. I met him 3 weeks before I found my lump, and
Was it in the neck?
I
Was it a lymph node?
had neck cancer.
So that can metastasize anywhere.
It started in the top of my base tongue and metastasized to the neck here.
Did you
and
smoke?
Neck here. No, it was
Oh,
caused by
my.
the HPV virus, which is what kids are getting vaccinated for at 12
Okay.
and 13 now.
No,
It's passed on, HPV, you probably
Yeah, I know
hear,
about
but we
it.
all have
Sure.
it. There are a few strains of HPV that can cause cancer. And I know
let's
one of
throw sexuality out the window for a second. Living with the thought that you may die. Was that scarier than coming out?
them. Yes.
Okay, I would agree.
Yes, absolutely. So
You-
you felt this, you
Yeah.
felt that when you were ill.
Yeah. And I'm going through an insurance thing again. You know, I have to recycle it every 2 years. And Janice going, they'll take you. We did it once before they recycled it. And you know, I'm very sensitive. And I'm like, no, they're not gonna do it, you know, for some stupid reason. And then they're gonna cut out my IVIG. Then I've got, my doctor said, oh, you'll live 6 to 9 months. That's about it. They cut it out. Knowing that, I would be scared to crap. I think I would go straight to heroin.
Really?
I got a plan.
Like if you knew you were dying.
If I knew
6 months.
I was dying, I wouldn't want to think about it. I would just go to heroin and just smile.
I would not let myself believe that I was going to die. And
How do you do that?
My cure, you believe in your spirituality and your faith and the people around you who want you to live, but you have to want to live. And you know, to get through a critical illness like cancer or what you've gone through, you know, you got to suffer to win.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
And I looked at it as the battle of my life, and I am a winner in everything I do.
You're probably a
And
better
I-
person for it.
I was not going to lose that fight
Yes.
to the frickin' cancer.
Do you look at life a little differently?
Totally.
Yeah, see?
Every day is
Okay.
much more meaningful to me, and I'm all about living life to the fullest each day.
Yeah.
Living in the moment, being present, and not projecting ahead, and not looking behind. There's no benefit in looking at the past and what's
Right.
happened because you can't do anything about it. There's no reason to look too far ahead in the future because it hasn't happened yet. All you can do is deal in today and make today the best it can
And
be.
I wonder, like, I mean, because you just went through all this, and now you've just gone through a huge life change. I mean, in the sense
Yes.
of you're selling your restaurant.
I'm selling my restaurant.
Jim has a restaurant in Saugatuck, Douglas,
Yes.
called Zing. If anyone's interested in
I know
buying it.
it.
Yes,
So now you have turned your career into the thing you love, which is professional poker playing.
Yes.
So how much did the cancer play into that? Play into these decisions?
A lot.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot of time, anyone out there who's been ill, you're by yourself a lot, you have a lot of thinking time. One of the things I did was I blogged every night on caringbridge.org and kept
Yeah,
a
I know
journal.
that one, yeah.
And I just printed it out, it's this thick, and I'm gonna make a book out of it.
Wow.
I'm very excited.
Right, that's
And
cool.
it's got everybody's comments all along, and the people that wrote in and gave their prayers and their good thoughts to me really made a difference. But to your question, absolutely. Because I thought I was going to die, and I didn't, and I won my battle, I decided that I'm not living life for anybody else anymore except for me. And it sounds a little selfish, but life's short. You don't know when it's going to end, just like those people in San Bernardino yesterday. I mean, horrible.
Right.
And so if you have the ability to go and do something that you've always wanted to do, which in my case is I've always wanted to live in Las Vegas, I've always wanted to play poker, as a professional, I've been part-time professional for 8 years. Now's the time for me to do it. And I had to my restaurant was a big burden for me, although it brought a lot of joy to a lot of people and to me once in a while. I need to remove myself from that and move on and live a healthy life emotionally, physically, and mentally.
But it anchored you there too. I mean, it anchored you in a place that was not Las Vegas. And you were ready to go.
Yeah, and I believe something you said earlier, David, that I struck me is I believe that our higher power, whoever that may be for you, has given us a path. And we have a beginning point, which is our birth, and an end point, which is our death. And I believe that he has created this path for us, and along the way, things are going to pop up, obstacles, barriers, things that we need to overcome that makes us a bigger, better person.
You should read
by living that
my
life.
Facebook page. We should be friends, and even in fourth dimension. I'm in the paranormal.
So am
I run Fourth Dimension Paranormal Institute and Investigations.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know.
There was a ghost in my restaurant.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Is there?
David has
you
one
still
in his
have
house.
Documented
access?
ghost.
You still have access to it?
You should come.
Afterwards, let's set it up and we'll do it. I got all the equipment.
Her name is Ethel, and she burned in a fire years ago in the 50s.
Wow.
She has shown herself to so many of our guests.
Have you seen her?
I've never seen her, but 4 of my staff have. I felt her. I've smelled her. And I've seen her. She loves to open doors and fling glasses and break things.
Sure. Well, wants attention.
She's not.
Buy his restaurant.
Yeah, no, but she's not a bad ghost. She's a ghost that she's feisty.
Ghosts were people too.
Interesting.
And we come into this world as spirit, and we leave it as spirit. In fact, we exist more as spirit than we do in any other form. You know that? Millions of years can go by and be spirit, because so many children are saying, I remember my last life, and they're so dead on. So the miracle of this, and the mystery of things that are going on, we should talk more, because if you have those things that are going on, that's a gift. And as long as you give him the credit, you get to keep it. Now, it changed you in so many ways. That was supposed to happen. Predestination, it's all over Ezekiel and Ephesians. You were predestined before you were even in the womb, he said, your soul. So you have to go through this. The job for us in this life is to overcome things we didn't last time. Or the time before. And I know what I need to overcome. I put it out there in one of my tirades. My biggest thing that I have to get over is fear. Fear kept me from so many things. It kept me from radio and TV when I was young. Because you didn't do that. You have to get in the corporate world. And I hated it. I hated it every day. It's kind of like in a position you're in. I did not like who I was. I couldn't stay married, and now I love who I am.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And screw the rest. I don't care.
Fear is paralyzing.
Fear,
It keeps people from moving anywhere.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
So after that, and if you read the top 5 things in hospices, what do they say before they die? I wish I did what I wanted. I wish I had more fun. I wish I had more friends. I wish I didn't care about money so much. They say these things just before they pass. Learn from them. What are they telling us? They read the whole book. They're giving us the epilogue.
Exactly.
So luckily for us, I call it luck that we've had these experiences that we can see now. I know pretty much what my life is about now.
Yeah. Well, just to add to that, after I got the cancer-free designation in January, I was on a plane ride to Connecticut to see my mother because she was unable to come see me while I was ill. She's older, can't travel. And my plane went down. You may have remembered this.
Yes.
I was on a United flight from Grand Rapids to Chicago.
Yes, we have the videos from that actually. Because
and there was no front wheel on my plane for landing, so we did an emergency landing. And again, I thought I was going to die. So twice in 6 months. And thankfully, the pilot did an amazing job landing the plane, and the 41 of us were all okay. But it was quite scary. But I come to terms with death. It was interesting when I was going down. I was texting Candice's husband, and he's in the news business, and I said, oh my gosh, news story, this is not good. I'm going down in a plane crash. And it was like, really? I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, call my mom, call my dad. But I was at peace as we were going down because I'd already dealt with that, having the cancer. And all I did was pray for the pilot. I didn't pray for myself, I prayed for the pilot because he was in charge of 41 of us, including himself.
Yeah.
So it worked, and you just have to believe. I know my time, I'm here for a purpose that I'm not quite sure yet what it is, but my time has not buzzed out yet. I'm still...
No, that's the great mystery.
I'm supposed to be here.
And it may not be complete. The moment of absolute certainty never arrives in our lives. So we never get to the point where we go, aha, now that all made sense. I could put me in a casket. I'm done. The debit's equal to credits. Everything's done.
That's right.
It doesn't. Death is so inconvenient. It always comes at the wrong time.
You needed to make it to the Daddy Dogger dance.
I did. That was one of my purposes.
That's right. And actually, Jim has another dance to make it to. He's going to the work party with my husband tonight at his work.
What time?
So he's got to take off soon. So
okay.
He's got to get going. So he can tap into the
Well,
drinks.
thank you for coming all this way out, man.
It's my pleasure.
The Grand Rapids.
Anytime.
Thanks. We can have you back again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about the paranormal or
that's totally
other
cool.
topics, I would love that.
Will you connect and give him my information?
Yes.
Because I do want to get into the building where you're at.
Yes.
I've got all the equipment.
Okay.
Full spectrum.
I will share you all the stories that have transpired there.
Yes.
And the sightings and the things she's done.
I'll also text you a picture of that, that one with the ghost honeysuckle.
I can show it to him.
I got a ghost pushing me against, and it's only caught in the in the IR.
I totally believe
Crazy,
it.
yeah.
I felt it.
Ethel's pushed my bartenders into our coolers.
Yeah.
Locked doors on people.
Wow.
Oh, she's mean.
Yeah, and I had a psychic secretary for a year who got me interested in actually doing aura reading and psychometry and channeling. So I did some channeling.
Do you?
I did. I don't now.
I think that
pick it up again.
people have that capability. I found out I'm an empath. That's about to the extent I go. But I can read your feelings.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I can pretty much read your feelings, and I know when to, and that helps me in this business because I know when to cut things short, move on, and get going.
Yeah.
I know when something's dying in a conversation.
Yeah.
That would come in handy in poker playing too.
Yeah, for sure.
You're like, they're
Can you tell me what to do?
feeling nervous. They're
So
You're
feeling
making lots of money in poker.
Yeah, I've been playing professionally part-time for 8 years, and there are 415,000 ranked tournament poker players, and I'm in the top 2,500.
Are you?
Right now, so I do pretty well. And
So can I bet on you to win one night as a back?
What you can do is you can pay for part of my entry into a tournament.
Yeah.
Like put up 33% of my entry, and then if I cash in that tournament at whatever level I cash in,
You get 33%.
You would gross 28%. Because you're not paying for my travel expenses or
Oh,
so actually
okay.
I do have a backer.
Gotcha. So
right
you
now,
have that.
I have one backer backing me at 33% right now.
Wow.
But
so this backer
can always
pretty
take
happy.
another backer.
Can the backer retire now?
She's actually, it's a she, and she's actually just starting with me. I had another backer, but he sort of flaked out. Yeah, so I'm leaving for Vegas tomorrow actually for 2 weeks. And I'm going to start, I'm playing in the 5 Diamond Classic at the Bellagio. It's a World Poker Tour event. So I'll be playing about 10 tournaments there over the next 2 weeks.
Cool.
So I do pretty well.
That's probably no fear. Because
No fear.
You've been through...
And when you play poker, whether you're playing the $10,000 main event or a $100 7 o'clock nightly tournament, you have to play the same way. And you can't think about the money. Because it's not about the money, it's about the game and the people at your table and reading the situations and reading them and just doing what you know is right based on your intuition and your experience in situations. It's all situational. That's why the best poker players have play a lot. Like they play every day, they play nonstop. They're the best. They're not always the oldest, they're not always the most experienced, but they're the ones like the kid. 25-year-old kid just won the main event. And then last year, a guy from Michigan won it.
Yeah.
21-year-old even.
So you can make a living on it.
Totally. I'm retired, so I'm doing this for fun and
Why don't you do that?
yeah, I'm going to.
That's good.
So I'm moving to Vegas.
Are you?
January 15th, which is going to be interesting with.
Well, I'm thinking, I'm looking over at Candice right now.
No, I already know all about this, so.
Well, you know about it. Is he going with?
No.
Well, he's living here, but he's going out to visit.
Yeah. And I'll be coming back and we'll be going back and forth. We're going to do a long distance relationship. I have a 6-month lease out there.
Okay.
I got a beautiful 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, a block and a half off the strip right on Flamingo.
I have a long
There's
distance.
a place for you to come.
Yeah, I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of paranormal places out there too.
Yes.
Yeah,
So maybe we need to.
that's where ghost
maybe we need to do a
detectors
field trip
We do.
and do a radio show from Vegas.
That would be fun. I would love that.
I have a long distance relationship with a 16-year-old Taiwanese girl on Skype.
God.
Is she in Vegas or in Taiwan?
You never can tell.
I hope she's in
Obviously,
Taiwan.
I'm in New York.
She may
I'm
really
in
be
New
in
York.
Vegas.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But hey, this has been really fun for me.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thanks for
having
coming
me.
out.
Really good to finally meet you.
I know, this was great. Well, I knew I'd love
See, the
this.
show brings people together.
It does.
It's a show of all colors.
Yeah.
We never would have met if not for
thank you,
this.
Nice to meet you, David. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, we'll connect the dots, and I want to really do this paranormal.
I'm
thing.
serious. Yeah, for
And
sure.
talk to you more about that other stuff going on in your head.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Bye now.
Drive safely. We're going to
Bye.
take a
Have a
break.
nice night.
We'll be right back.